What's up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we have an absolute banger list of my top 10 video games of 2024. Now, I wasn't originally expecting 2024 to be so incredible, but it ended up being way better than I ever thought it could be, especially if you're fans of RPGs, which I most certainly am. And I would recommend buying all these games. You're looking for a great game for Christmas or the holiday break, definitely check out these games. Don't forget, guys, to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel and joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. Coming in at number 10 is Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Now, I'm not a Zelda fan. However, this game was so unique and awesome. It's really cool to actually play as Zelda and go through a traditional style Zelda game. But besides, your regular attacking that you do in a Zelda game, you actually use echoes, which are either monsters that you defeat and then you can summon essentially like Pokemon, or you can summon echoes of objects in the universe. And this is how you will traverse the environment. And what's really cool is there's 127 echoes, and using these echoes in different unique ways will allow you to get to areas you thought you could never get to before. You can even sequence break the game if you know what you're really doing. It allows for a lot of creativity that I think is really awesome and a unique experience within the Zelda formula. Coming in at number 9 is Stellar Blade. Now, Stellar Blade is a game that I wasn't expecting much of originally. I really thought it was just a hot girl game where you have some cool combat, but after playing that demo and then playing through the entire game twice, this game ends up being my action game of the year. The action in this game is high intensity. The different enemy types are really cool. You have multiple ways to parry through this game, different combo systems, and a very cool upgrade tree that will diversify your gameplay in many ways. I would compare this game to Nier Automata, but make the story about 30% worse, but the gameplay about 50% better. And we come at this beautiful baby called Stellar Blade. And of course, you get to dress up your girl too, which, hey, some people are really into that. Now, I did 100% this game. I went through it multiple times, saw all the different endings, and I got to say, I am ready for Stellar Blade 2. Unicorn Overlord comes in at number 8 and also my strategy RPG of the year. Another banger game from Vanillaware, who has not missed, and they come in hot with this hand-drawn sprite game with absolutely gorgeous character work in environments in general. Now, Unicorn Overlord is a game where you can now to take back the kingdom from the evil big bad monsters, and it's cool because you got to build up your army, recruit different units, and then within your army itself you have different platoons, and you get to mix and match different units who have multiple classes, who can be class promoted as well. And even further, you can customize what type of equipment they have, what type of moves they use, when they use them, based on percentages. And it gets so micro level. It is so cool. And you can essentially, if you set up everything right, you can just have your army essentially play on auto, and it's really rewarding. And this is a game that I would highly recommend to anyone who is into strategy games. Do not miss this special gem. Coming in at number 7 is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and another phenomenal entry into this series and improving upon Like a Dragon. Way better RPG systems, much more in depth, better class systems, and even better, we're finally out of Japan. We're in the US for the first time in Hawaii. I've never played a game that takes place in Hawaii, and I thought this was one of the coolest things to have the big island be replicated in such a way where you can just walk down the streets and actually explore and enjoy the crazy insanity of this series. You got a lot of guest stars coming in, which is always cool, but the real stars of this game really comes from the side content. We have a whole side quest line that is literally you catching Pokemon, aka other people dressed up as monsters, and then using them in battles against each other. There is a massive 20-hour side quest line that is you making your own Animal Crossing island out of just junk found in the ocean. And not only do we have all this fun stuff, we have this heartwarming, sentimental content and we get the final farewell to Kiryu's story at the end of it. And I gotta say, I will buy every Yakuza game for the rest of my life. They keep hitting it over and over again. RGG does not miss. Number 6 is Silent Hill 2, my horror game of the year, and this might be the scariest game I've ever played in my entire life. This is my first time playing through Silent Hill 2, but I've always watched Let's Plays, and I know there's a lot of differences in here, but Silent Hill 2 is a phenomenal game. The story of this game is immaculate. It's incredible. It is gut-wrenching. It is so sad and depressing. And I love the world of Silent Hill 2. The town is its own main character. All the other characters you find in Silent Hill dealing with their own personal horrors, and how James has to overcome his own horrors and what he did and how he can make it right to himself. The gameplay is so good. It is absolutely terrifying going through the different sections, like the hospital, the apartment, the hotel, and just seeing the creatures of Silent Hill coming to life out of James's mind, trying to stop him from realizing the truth of why he is in Silent Hill. Here to dive into our top 5 with Helldivers 2, my multiplayer game of the year. And now I am not a big multiplayer gamer at this point in my life, usually focusing on single player, but Helldivers has taken over my existence multiple times throughout this year with an absolutely hilarious and incredible gameplay system where it's very similar to the satire of Starship Troopers. It makes fun of that movie throughout, and just the super hardcore patriotism of Helldivers is just hilarious, but the gameplay is great. Every fight and moment in this game feels like you're in a cinematic war movie, but with the hilarity that, yeah, it's super easy to accidentally murk yourself or your teammates, or get into situations where, like, I don't even know how we're going to get out of this. And with the ragdoll physics, with so many different options with your stratagems and the gear that you can bring, there's so many different ways to counteract either the bugs you're fighting, the robots, and now the new content update, the Illuminate. And we have 3 full factions that are fully fleshed out with more free content coming. And I think this is the best $40 that I spent on this year. And honestly, I'm going to see myself diving into hell for the rest of 2025. Coming into number 4 is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdteee, and I know it is not a new video game in the sense that it is a expansion for a video game that won my personal game of the year 2 years ago. But hey, this is my list and I make the rules, all right? And Shadow of the Erdteee was one of the most fun and one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had in my life. And the new bosses are so legendary in Shadow of the Erdteee. I will never forget some of these insane bosses. The final boss was absolutely brutal. Bale was my personal favorite boss fight. And just going through Elden Ring again with all the new different weapon types, the new armor, the new storylines involving Mikola and all these other side characters is an experience that I will never forget. An experience that I will keep on experiencing for the rest of my life, because I will definitely be replaying through Elden Ring multiple times in a couple of maybe months or years or whatever. Whenever I'm in the mood, I'm always in the mood for a little bit of From Software, and I still got to do my PS5 run. So yes, Shadow of the Erdteee, if you have not beaten Elden Ring or gotten Elden Ring, definitely recommend it, and then definitely get this DLC, because this is one of the most dense and intense gaming experiences you could possibly ever have. Coming in at number 3 is a Metaphor Ref Fantasia. I would say this is my favorite turn-based RPG of 2024. Metaphor Ref Fantasia is fantasy Persona, but it is so much more than that. It is a great meta commentary about how democracy works, the real political systems that exist in this world, and is there any real choice, and is there any way to actually change these systems, and how justice can prevail within these systems too. Now, I love this game because the turn-based system is great, very similar to Persona, absolutely stylish menus and combat system, but instead of having personas, you have archetypes, and these archetypes grow and evolve throughout the game. You can mix and match them, you can transfer moves over, so you can make super art archetypes, and they even evolve over time. The cast of characters are phenomenal. Voice acting is on point, and I gotta say, some of the best voice acting of the year is within Metaphor Ref Fantasia. The overall story is great. The main villain is essentially Griffith from Berserk, and if you are into super in-depth stories, I would highly recommend playing this game. And you know, it could have been my #1, but the other two just hit it for me a little bit harder. Coming in at #2 in my RPG of the year is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has my favorite gameplay of the year. I am a massive Final Fantasy VII fan. I love Remake, I love the original, love all the side games. But I gotta say, the gameplay in Rebirth is peak. All the characters play so incredibly different. There's so many different builds with the materia you can use and how they'll work together. Now you got additional synergies between the characters, and the combat system is glorious. I beat this game twice, got the platinum trophy, which means I did all of the insane challenges, and I do think these challenges were the hardest challenges that I completed this year, especially that Cloud and Zack one. Absolutely crazy. Really made me had to master the combat system and think outside of the box for those 10 battles in a row. Now, the graphics, absolutely phenomenal. Maybe the best graphics of the year in general. Best music of the year with over 400 songs. Not only have the old stuff, but it got a bunch of new music and remixes of the old music as well. You also have tons of mini games. Each zone has its own mini games. You got like 6 massive mini games. You also have an incredible card game called Queen's Blood, which has its own cool side quests and lore implications as well. And just what they did, which is essentially just the middle part of Final Fantasy VII and expanding it to be an 80-hour game. I never thought this would work out so well, but it worked out incredibly well. And I cannot wait to see where we go in the final game in this trilogy, especially with the story changes towards the end of Rebirth. The 2024 Game of the Year is Astrobot. Astrobot is the most fun video game I played in 2024. I have not played a game in such a long time where I was smiling from cheek to cheek for the entire 12-hour experience. The fun per second of Astrobot needs to be studied because so many games, you know, they're great, they're fun, they're long, but they're not fun the entire time. In Astrobot, I am having a blast going through each level, searching for every single bot, every jigsaw puzzle. It's like, oh wow, that was a great level, that was a whole new mechanic. And then the next level, oh my god, there is another sick new unique level with a new mechanic, with all these great fun cameo characters to find, with new gameplay things that we can do. And it just keeps on going and going and going through across like 5 different whole galaxies with a bunch of levels to go through. I believe it's like 80 levels. It's actually crazy. And the cherry on top is they added a bunch of free levels. They added some hardcore speedrunning levels for free, even a bonus level to the game as well, which is just so impressive for a game that wasn't even full price. It was a $60 game. Normally something like this is a $70 PS5 release. So this is probably the best bang for your buck that you can get on your PS5 this holiday. If you have a PS5, Astrobot is a system seller. This is a game that you need to play. It is fun for the entire family, for little kids to grandmas. I would recommend it, and I cannot wait for another Astrobot game because seriously, Sony has finally found their gaming mascot. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching my entire top 10 list of video. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section below what your game of the year of 2024 is. I would love to hear it. Anyways, guys, happy holidays, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, and have a good one.